Hello and welcome. My name's Andy Crook, and my mission is to help garage owners become more successful in business. How I do that is I deliver a training topic on one of the 5 pillars of business as I see it. And this week we're in the marketing pillar, and I want to talk about something that sounds complicated, but really is omnichannel marketing. Now I know the second you heard that, your brain probably went to some bloke in a suit standing in front of a whiteboard, charging you about $3,000 a month just to explain that. It sounds like agency speak, corporate fluff, the kind of phrase that comes before a 12-month contract, content calendar, and a dashboard no one ever needed or even looked at. But here's the thing. For garage owners, omnichannel marketing doesn't start with software. It doesn't start with a strategy session or even brand refresh. It starts with 3 letters, P, which stands for name, address, phone number. Now, NAP actually comes from the world of SEO, which means search engine optimization. And before you glaze over, stay with me for at least another 30 seconds, because this is the part that could put money in your pocket. When someone types garage near me into Google, Google doesn't just pull up whoever has the flashiest website. It runs its own version of a trust check. It scans your Google business profile, your website, all directories, review sites, and it checks whether they all say the same thing. Consistent NAP tells Google your business is real, established, and credible, which means that you will rank higher. Inconsistent NAP, different trading name here, old phone number there, addresses that don't quite match, and Google starts to get confused. It doesn't know which version of you to trust, so it edges its bets, and you drop down the results. And here's the part you need to understand. The customer searching garage near me never even gets to judge your quality, your reviews, or even your prices. Because a garage with a cleaner, more consistent information just showed up above you. You lost the customer before they even saw you. NAP consistency solves 2 problems at once. It helps Google find you and rank you, and it helps customers trust you once they do. 2 problems, 1 simple fix. And it costs nothing, except maybe some time. And that's why I want to start here. Not with AdWords, not with content, and not with a new platform. We start with basic. We start with boring, because boring basics build better businesses. So before we go on to talk about websites, Facebook and Google reviews, and all that other great stuff, we need to start with your NAP, because consistency is key. And here's what I want you to do right now. Not later, right now. I want you to think about all the places your business exists online, because you've probably got a Google business profile, a website, a Facebook page, maybe even an Instagram account. What about those old directory listings you set up years ago and have forgotten all about? Then consider your invoices, text reminders, and email footers. Do they all say the same thing? Do they have the same business name? Exactly the same business name. Limited, not LTD. The same address. Exactly the same address. Right down to the same capitalization on the postcode. Do they have the same phone number? And exactly the same phone. Not +44 on some, or 012123 on others. Not a mobile and then a landline. The same number everywhere. Because if they don't, you're already creating doubt. And doubt is dangerous. Think about it from the customer's point of view. They'll find you on Google, but the phone number on your website is somehow different. They check Facebook, but the opening times are out of date. They click an old directory listing, and the address does no longer match. They look at your invoice, and now your trading name is completely different again. Now, to you, that all makes sense. You know why each one's slightly different, because there's history there. That's your journey. But the customer doesn't have that history. To them, inconsistency feels like risk. And when people feel risk, they slow down. They hesitate. Then they go and check someone else. They say, I'll get back to you. And just like that, you've lost a booking you never even knew you had. And that's why NAP matters. It's boring. I really know it's boring. But boring basics do build better businesses. So omnichannel, what does that even mean? It means your customers feel like they're dealing with one clear, consistent business, not 10 versions of it. And that's it. That's what omnichannel basically means. That's the whole idea of it. The customer doesn't sit there thinking, now I'm interacting with your Google channel. They don't think, now I'm experiencing your Facebook presence. They just think one thing: can I trust this garage with my car? So omnichannel isn't about being everywhere. It's about being the same everywhere. The same name, same number, same message, same promise, same process, same standard. That's what joined up trust looks like. Now, here's a distinction I want to draw because it trips up a lot of garage owners. Most garages are already multi-channel because you've got a website, a Google profile, a Facebook page. You answer the phone and you send texts. That's already multi-channel. You're in multiple places. But omni-channel is different. Omni-channel means those places actually work together. And this is where garages quietly leak trust without even realizing it. The website says diagnostic specialists, but the Facebook page advertises cheap MOTs. The service advisor says, we'll just plug it in. But the technician then sends a brilliant video walking the customer through the test procedure he's just carried out. But the invoice only lists labor and parts. No test procedure was even mentioned. What is the customer supposed to believe? Are you cheap? Are you actually a specialist? Are you a premium garage? Are you process-led? Or are you just another garage? They shouldn't have to work that out because customers don't want homework. They want confidence. So let me introduce to Scattered Steve. Steve owns a good garage, solid techs, quality work, customers who genuinely like them. But Steve is busy. In fact, he's flat out. Firefighting from the moment he walks into the garage to the moment he locks up. And because he's been flat out for years, everything has grown in bits. The website was written many years ago by one of his mates. The Facebook posts are done, if he remembers, or when they have a special car in the garage. Now, it's worth mentioning this because lots of garage owners do that. They wait till they have that once-in-a-lifetime vehicle in the garage, take loads of photographs, and then plaster it all over their social media. What message do you think that sends to the customers? Oh, that they only work on Bentleys? Because there's only ever pictures of flashy cars on their social media. Not cars like the customers, the cars they normally work on. But that's all part of the consistency. Because those Google profile pictures are taken on a phone that he no longer owns. And the receptionist, they explain things one way, then Steve explains them another. And the technician, who actually does it best, only gets to speak if the customer has a question about the price or the work that was done. Because that's not really a marketing problem. That's a consistency problem. And consistency builds confidence, and inconsistency creates concerns. And concerns cost conversion. Most garage owners in Steve's position think the answer is something new or something additional. New adverts, add-in offers, another platform. But you know what I'm going to say? You must do more, you must do it better before additional. Make what you already have work properly before you add to it. Because if the current journey is eroded trust, adding more traffic only compounds the problem. A bit like having a boost leak and then simply turning out the boost. All you'll do is make more noise. The problem is still there. Most small businesses have a sales level need, and garages are no exception. And to fix a sales level need, you need to fix the customer journey. This I represent by 4 letters: AC, DC. Not the band, although if you want to put them on in the workshop, I never argue. It stands for attract, convert, deliver, collect. And that's your customer journey from start to finish. Attract is how people find you, whether that be Google, Facebook, referrals, reviews, signage, word of mouth. And this is where NAP lives. Can they find you? Can they phone you? Can they trust the listing? It might be basic. It might be boring. That's what builds better businesses. Convert is if they decide to book. Your website, your phone number, your clarity, your confidence. This is where most garages think they don't have a problem. But your data will probably tell a different story. Deliver, this is the actual experience, the drop-off, the diagnosis, the communication, the repair, the quality. This is your craft, and this is what you're really proud of. And collect is what happens after the work. Payment, review requests, service reminders, follow-ups, next booking and repeat work. Now, here's what most garages do, and they obsess over the attract. We need more customers. And maybe you do, but maybe the real issue is in conversion. People can find you, but they never book. Maybe it's the deliver. Once they book, the work doesn't get done right, and they don't come back. Maybe it's collect. You do the job, but you never see the review, the reminder, or the repeat visit. Another offer, running new ads or adding a TikTok account won't fix a weak customer journey. It will just expose it faster. So let me give you an example of what this looks like in practice. And we'll use a nice simple example, service reminders. And lots of garages either don't send them, or they send something like this: your service is due, call us. That's better than nothing, but it's pretty weak. A stronger message might sound a bit like this: your vehicle is due for its insert type of service. This protects the resale value, keeps you safer on the road, and could reduce further repair costs. Here's what's included. Click here to book. Then the booking page matches that message. The advisor uses the same language. The completed service sheet shows what was checked, replaced, and advises of the future work. The invoice, drop-off, and collection experience all reflect the level of care and attention the garage lavished on that vehicle. The follow-up, you always send them, don't you? Reminds them of anything that was picked up during the service, when their next visit is due, and asks for the review. It's not complicated, but it's clear, and it's also connected. And clear connected messaging beats clever every time. So here's a quick point before we head to the atomic action for this week. And this is important. Your database isn't admin. Your data is your biggest asset. Your MOT dates, MOT failure rates, average MOT repair time and invoice value, service histories, mileage, advisories, declined work, vehicle age, tire sizes, average invoice value, customer notes, customer classification. That's not paperwork. That's your future. That's customer care. That's marketing. But only if you have a system to take advantage of it. A clean database means better reminders. Better reminders create more bookings. More bookings mean better workflow. Better workflow means more profit. And here's the thing. If all that knowledge lives in the owner's head, your customer journey depends entirely on the owner's availability. And that's not a business. That's a bottleneck. A marketing system removes the kingpin. Remember, systems improve effectiveness and processes improve efficiency. A garage that embraces an omnichannel marketing system will have a clear, consistent message that is repeated across the whole customer journey, their online presence, and all communications. Obviously, you can't build that by listening to a podcast, but you can make a start today, or at least this week. So here's your atomic action for this week. And you have two options. Option one, check your NAP, your name, address, and phone number. Go through your Google, your website, Facebook, Apple Maps, all directories, your invoices, your email footer, and your reminder system, and check them. Do they all match? If not, fix them. Do that today, or at least this week. And the other option, if you've already done your NAP, is pick one service, just one. Ideally, it should be a core offer. Whether that's diagnostics, MOT, service in tires, just pick one and write down every step of the AC/DC customer journey, from attract through to collect. Then beside each step, write what the customer currently sees, hears, or receives. Then ask 3 questions. Is the message consistent? Is the next step clear? Does this build trust, or does it create friction? And that's your omnichannel audit. No fancy software, no agency, just a garage owner looking at their business through the customer's lens. So I'll be straight with you. When a garage isn't growing, I hear 4 excuses every single time. It's either the market, the money, the method, or the model. And that's what I get all the time. It's the market. My customers just want something cheap and quick. It's the money. I can't afford to invest right now. It's the method. I just don't know what to do. It's the model. The industry's broken. And sometimes, genuinely, those things are a factor. But in most cases, it's just your mindset. It's not the market, because plenty of garages near you are busy. And it's not the money. Fixing your NAP, for example, costs nothing. It's not the model. The demand for vehicle maintenance, it's always going to be there. In this case, it is the method. The journey is messy. The customer can't tell what you stand for. The process is inconsistent. The follow-up is weak. And the value is hidden. And that trust is quietly leaking away, not in one big moment, but in dozens of small ones. And instead of fixing the method, most garages go looking for more traffic. And that's just simply backwards. Fix the journey first, then add more attention. Because when the journey is strong, every new lead is worth more. When the journey is weak, every new lead is just another chance to lose another customer. So omnichannel marketing for garage owners doesn't start with complex software. It starts with NAP, the NAP, name, address, phone number. Get the basics right. Connect the journey, same message, same promise, same process, same standard. That's what builds confidence. That's what reduces friction. That's what turns marketing from noise into a system. Remember, if you should, you must. And what's stopping you is probably starting. Don't forget, start with your NAP. Map one journey, tighten it, make it consistent, and only then think about adding anything more. Because more better before additional. It's not just a phrase. It's the order that stops you wasting your time and your money. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for listening.